What's up, guys? I thought I'd show you two crawfish patterns that I like throwing here. One is a foxy clouser crayfish, and it's pretty easy to tie, and it has nice movement, and it stands up in the water, kind of like in a crawfish defensive posture. It's a good smallmouth fly, but we don't have any smallmouth in these waters. We have Guadalupe and like largemouth, and they really like this fly. So I'm gonna show you that one, and then I made up this little crawfish pattern. It's more of a, it has pretty nice movement, but it's also more of a profile fly, because that looks pretty much exactly like a crawfish. And they don't get too big. The crawfish don't get too big here, so I don't tie them, real big. I'm just gonna put in my hook. My hook is a size 8, 3x long. You can also use like a 2x long. And go ahead and wrap to about 3/4 down, or about like at the point of the hook, maybe a little bit past. I'm gonna wrap down a little bit, and then you're gonna take some brown flash, take 2 strands, tie them in, clip them, and if they curl back, that's okay, because you can hold them and pinch them and actually kind of work them so they get straight. Kind of pinch those. See, now they're not all curled up, they're straight. Okay, and then now we're gonna tie in our eyes. So put it a little bit behind the eye of the hook, and I'm taking a small red eye, and then take a little bit of super glue, dot. It just takes a tiny little bit to hold these guys in. Just gonna tie those in. Like that. Okay, now what we're gonna do is take some fox skin material, and there's 2. I have a few pieces here, and for the underside you're gonna use a cream, top you're gonna use a brown color. Take some of the cream, cut out a little bit, and do about 2 turns. Kind of slide it through, and so now you're gonna fold it over the eyes, And put in some wraps. And wrap back in front of the eyes. Just flip it over. Some brown. Let's see here. Trying to find a longer spot. So on the underside, like, so there's brown on top and then there's a little bit of gray down there. That just means that the fox is older. And so it's, you don't want a lot of that gray in there. Just clipping some off of different spots. So tie that in, and then build a nice head and tie it off. Clip your thread, and you'll probably pull out some excess hairs that you missed. Just pull out a little bit there. But there we go. And take this guy out the vise. I'm gonna clip my flash down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Clouser crawfish. Should definitely tie up a couple of those. Once you get in the rhythm, you can tie them pretty fast. That's a good one. Okay. So for the next fly, we're using the same size hook, size 8, 3x long. And wrap it down. Flip it off, and put some more thread wraps down. Now I do the same thing for my antennae. Just take 2 strands, tie those in. Okay, now what we're gonna do is tie in our crawfish body, which I have right here. It's just these fish skull craw body in a brown. They also make them in in olive, I think. But fish skull makes a lot of really nice felt or synthetic bodies. Like they make Helgramite, I think, and they make fish tails and stuff. So pretty nice. They don't have all that great of movement, but for profile, it's a good one. Doing the same thing for like we did with the Clouser craw for tying in our eyes. A little bit of super glue. Oop. Those guys tied in. Now what we're gonna do, put in our craw body. What I like to do is just throw in a half hitch right there. So now what we're gonna do is take the body and we're gonna unhook our hook and put it through right. So here's the claws, there, there. Then here's the head, here, and we're gonna put it right at the bottom of the head, like right across there, right in front of my finger. So right in the middle and below the head. Pull this out. That guy on. Put that on, and then, so now that we have that on, just kind of move it over to the side. And then what we're gonna do is take some copper wire, thin copper wire, clip off a piece, tie it in. So you have some sticking out right here. Probably can't see that, but I have a little bit sticking out right there. And I'm just gonna fold that over to make a little hook, and then wrap my thread over that copper wire. And I don't like to wrap all the way up. I like to leave about 1/8 of an inch back from my flash. Put your thread right there. Then what we're gonna do is take some micro pine squirrel zonker. It's like a rusty color. It's a good crayfish color. And this just kind of gives it an underside, and it also kind of acts like legs. And it has really good movement in the water. So when you stop this fly and it's resting and it's kind of standing up in the water, it looks like they're feeling around on the bottom because of those legs, because of the zonker strip moves really well. Wrap just behind the eyes, and then wrap your zonker. Tie that guy in. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is take our felt body we have right there and fold it across. What you want is right where the tail is, you want that to be resting right over the eyes. And mine is, so that's good. We're going to tie that in. Just like that. Then you're going to take a copper wire. This helps secure the body down. Just wrap that down, and it will lay down some of the fibers from the zonker strip, but it's okay. And then tie off your fly. So, and then you gotta clip off your thread, pull out your antennae, and clip them. And there you go. That's two great crawfish patterns that I really like to use. And one's based on movement, you know, it has nice movement. And this guy, I mean, because that zonker, that underneath that zonker there, it does have pretty good movement, but also it's more of a profile type fly. But I use them both a lot. And if you have smallmouth in your area, I would definitely recommend using, it doesn't have to be these, but some sort of crawfish pattern, because smallmouth love crawfish, and so do largemouth and the Guadalupe bass, which I mainly fish for here. So yeah, tie some of those up and get out on the water and probably catch a bass. Thanks for watching. Cast with a purpose.